Okay guys, welcome back. It's John Soukup with the SaveMore, Fishmore segment of the day. And we are going to be we're talking plastics. We've been talking plastics. We've been everything from creature baits to worms to swim baits. But something that's near and dear to my heart, we're going to go a little bit more in depth, you guys, is none other than the Finesse worm, also known as the Shakeyhead worm. All right, we've got two of them here. We've got the Mag Finesse, it's a 7-incher. And we got the 5-incher, okay? You guys can see, very different sizes, very different bulk. Right now, we're gonna go in depth and focus on just the little guy, the little cute guy, the Finesse worm. Remember, guys, elephants eat peanuts, okay? Remember that. If you think this thing's too small, you've made a mistake. There's been more bass caught on this little thing. I've caught way more tournament limits using this and found out not only was I catching limits, but I caught some good bags, 17, 20-pound bags. Yes, your spotted bass, but even your largemouth will eat this thing up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of the colors, the packaging, the hooks that I like to use, and show you when and where and how I use it. Stay with me.
Two-time NPFL champ, SaveMore Outdoors Pro from Soukup, Oklahoma. Put your hands together for the hookup, John Soukup.
All right guys, now that we've impressed you with some amazing B-roll, let's talk about these Finesse worms, all right? My favorite go-to, all-time favorite is green pumpkin. You give me one color, and like I say, any color's right as long as it's green pumpkin, all right? You can use this wherever you go. You can only fill your boat with green pumpkin, my favorite color. However, I do like, in Texas especially, down in the Florida area, but Texas, I like this guy right here. You guys, here's the packaging, right? This guy is known as red bug, and it is dangerous in your Texas areas. It seems like areas with grass, you know, is where I'll end up using a red bug color. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna open up my Shakeyhead box here, show you guys that I've got 1/8 ounce, 1/16 ounce, I got some 3/8, 3/16, quarter, and 3/8. Okay, we got all the sizes you guys can think of.
No.
Okay, guys. Now, when we go in depth on the jig heads that you'll use for a shaky head, this is just a kind of a round ball head style. This is all the same jig head in here. We got everything from a 1/16, 8, 3/16, quarter, 3/8. Kind of my standard sizes that I bring. Here's the big one, right? Now there are football head jigs for guys that are throwing it more on rocks. I don't have those out here to display, so if you like it throwing on more rocks, but this is my go-to. The round ball head is what I go to 90% of the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these 3 worms and I'm gonna rig them 3 separate ways, and I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about why and when I would rig those certain setups, okay? Here's your standard one. Day in, day out, green pumpkin. What I like to do is I like to take this and I'm going to actually clip just a little bit off. And I just like to savor that salt, okay? Just let it soak in on your tongue, ferment in there, just become the fish, okay? Very important. Next thing you do, you're going to slide that hook up. You're only going to go about 1/4 inch. 3/16 to 1/4 inch, all right? Bring it back out, slide the worm around, slide it over that collar, okay? And then you're gonna pinch the plastic up just a touch, sliding that hook back down, okay? And what that's gonna do there, I'm actually gonna let that hook come out, expose itself just a touch. I'm not really pulling the barb all the way through because I don't wanna dig a deep hole into that plastic. Now right here, we're going to try to protect that hook just a little bit. We're going to hide it back in that plastic. Okay? So now what you got is you got a fairly weedless bait. This isn't going to be the bait that you can just throw in every single brush pile, right? The way that you do that is you really back that hook up. back and bury it into that plastic if you're going to try to throw it around more brush. Now you can pitch it next to stumps and things of that nature. But when this bait comes down, it's going to come down on its head. I'm throwing this bait 90% of the time. I'm going to throw it between 8-pound test to 12-pound test, and I'm really more in that 8-pound test more than not. So spinning rods, right, shaky head rods. The bait's going to settle down, hit, the tail will fall, and it'll kind of float up. And that's why they call it the shaky head. You just kind of bring it along slowly, lift, drop action. All right. That is my go-to 90% of the time. So another way of rigging this is called Texpose. I'll take my red bud here to show you guys the difference here. So if I'm in a situation where I know I'm completely in open water, maybe like when you get into situations where you're around smallmouth, spotted bass, things of that nature where you're not afraid of really getting hung up. All right, I'm going to take that bait and I'm going to slide it down all the way to about right there. All right, so that's about a 1/2 inch on each curve and a 1/2 inch here. So I'm going to go down about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Slide it up, go over the barb, or not the barb, the keeper, the bait keeper. All right, and so there's your difference. This one is going to be semi-weedless. I'm not going to say it's perfectly weedless, but it's going to be, you're going to be able to move it around some cover. Where this one, you know, you're throwing it just exposed hook. All right, if you're having situations where you're not going to get hung up and the fish that are coming to grab it, you're not getting very good hooks at this right here, I'm going to use this in situations where I'm using a lot lighter line. And it's just going to, when that fish grabs it, it's going to hook themselves. All right, so super clear water, not a lot of snags, things of that nature. See the difference? Put them next to each other. Okay. Now, one of the little hidden gems, I'm going to slide this package up here and show you guys right here, that we've got, that we carry, this Silent Chaser. Now, what is this exactly? Let's say you're in a situation where you found some fish, they're finicky, they need a shaky head style bait, and they need your little finesse worm, but they're in brush, in and around brush. And that's what this dude does. All right, it's been perfectly designed. I'm going to show you the same way, just you can recognize that hook. Now with just a head, we're going to come down. Oh, forgot. You got, yeah, you got to really bite into it. Really enjoy that. Okay. You're going to bring it down just about 1/4 inch. Break it across, slide it up. See that perfect? See how it's not bundled on each other? All right. Now you're going to take that hook, put it into the middle of the plastic. You got to pinch, right? Don't start from the top. Pinch. Break it through and then fold it back into the plastic. All right. Now you got a bait that's even more weedless. And the way that this head is designed, it's going to come through. And when it hits, compared to like this is going to hit the hook and immediately start exposing the head and immediately start exposing the hook. This is going to slide through a lot more through the plastic. Okay. So these are your main 3 shaky head options. I'm going to lay these out and we'll show you guys the differences. Brush piles, stumps, rocks, everyday use, 90% of the time. Exposed, clearer water, not as much cover, fish are grabbing it, being finicky, you really want to get a chance to hook them. Maybe even if you're going to swim a bait, okay? Kind of an open style bait. All right, guys, these are my finesse worm setups. We've gone through colors, we've gone through a little bit of the line sizes. You guys, speaking of line sizes, when you get into this is when you could rig this thing on 20-pound test if you want to. So if you want to get really aggressive, be stronger, this right here is the bait that you're going to pick up. Gone through a little bit of heads. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining us on our segment.
Two-time NPFL champ, SaveMore Outdoors Pro from Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Put your hands together for the hookup, Soukup.